Let's get it, y'all.
Now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
You know, every time I hear that intro, Matt, I'm like, boom, boom. I'm getting psyched and ready to go.
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sportz Nutz, y'all. We are at episode 78. Man, we are moving right along, having a good time doing every episode. So happy to be with you all tonight. Look, it might just be him and myself tonight. Shane is coming back from North Carolina. Unfortunately, will not be with us. It's okay, though. Drive safely, Shane. We will see you when we see you. Hank is still at work. He may come on, hopefully. If not, you can see us. It's like old time. Season 2 all over again. It's okay.
There we go.
We have fun doing this no matter what. Look, guys, we have and I mean literally, a jam-packed episode. We have a Super Bowl champion. We had some controversy in the halftime show that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about both men's and women's college basketball. A new number one in, I guess you can, in the SEC. I don't know if you can call it number one, but we'll talk about that. One team is still winless. Ouch. That's hard to say this late in the season. Furman doing Furman things again, guys. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Guys, we're going to talk about Trae Young finally, Matt, getting what he has deserved, literally from the get-go, albeit a replacement. He still gets what he deserved. We'll talk about it. And, guys, we're also going to talk about a high school record. This high school student, I believe the game is tonight. She will be, if she gets 12 points, she'll only be the fourth high schooler in high school history to score 3,000 points for her high school career. Wow, that's an awesome feat. We'll talk a little bit about that. We have a whole lot more stuff we're going to talk about. Brandon Ingram, man, like, dude, the sports world is lit up, and more importantly, the New Orleans Aints, they about to blunder again. We'll talk a little bit about that. Before we get going, though, guys, as you see, we're wearing the Covenant Atlanta Falcons. Matt's got his Dirty Bird hat on. Matt, what's going on with you, man? How you been?
Oh, man, it seems like it's been a while, man, since I've been on here, man. That's what it seems like. But nah, man, everything's been good, man. Just taking it one day at a time. The weather is crazy. 2 days ago, it was so hot, and now it's like so cold. But that's Georgia for you. And that's Georgia for you. But nah, man, other than that, man, everything's good, man. Just, Super Bowl, saw that. Now I'm ready to kind of focus a little bit on some college basketball. And baseball's gearing up. So, it's about to be into some nice, slow, melodic times, especially with NBA playoffs coming in a few months, so teams are starting to get, their bearings, after the big trades. So, just ready to see what transpires.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun, like, basically the second half of your season, really. Can't wait for what is ahead. I know, guys, I got to give a quick shout out to my daughter's basketball team. Matt, we finished the regular season on a 2-game winning streak. We officially clinched the number 2 seed last night. My girls played fantastic. Lights out. You've told everybody many a times I'm like an animal, like I'm a Dennis Rodman with like aggressive, play tight defense. And so what do you think my girls did? They played the best darn defense I have ever seen them play. So much so, Matt, literally 3 minutes into the game, the other team has called timeout because their ball handlers are afraid to bring the ball over half court. My girls have instilled their fear. So the girls sat down, and I walked right over them and I said, you know what, girls? You got them. Like, what do you mean? I go, they're scared of you. You've won. You're in their heads. They're scared of you. That you got them on the ropes. We're only up 3-2, but we got them on the ropes. And well, at one point, I think we held them scoreless for like 7 minutes of game time. It was crazy how like good defense they played. Up until the final like minute 38 of game time, we were up by 13, and then they had this one girl. She's super tall, and she'd literally stand and just go like this, and just she wouldn't even jump. She'd just shoot the ball and miraculously going. Well, our tallest player, Emmeline, came up to here on the girl, like to her shoulder, right, and played great defense. Well, guess what? We have a girl she is very short, but she is, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight and the dog. This little girl, AJ, plays like she is like queen of the world. She blocked the tall girl. And I mean, it wasn't just like a little block. No, it was, I pulled, like the girl went to shoot, and AJ goes, nope, and just blocked it. And I'm like, oh my God, that was fantastic. Addison got a block on her too. I mean, like everybody played phenomenal. We ended up winning 27-17. It was 20. We were up by 13 with the final minute and a half left, but they scored a bucket and an and one, and that was it. Yeah, great game all around. Super duper proud of everybody. Great season. So hey, but guess what, guys? The Super Bowl has come. The Super Bowl has goneth. Matt, we were talking about this whole Super Bowl, and I made a prediction with a friend of mine. You may know him, Abe Gordon. I had mentioned to him, I said, I think it's actually going to be a surprise. I said, I think Philadelphia is going to handle it. And he said, we'll see. Well, guess what happened? Not only what's up, Derek? What is going on, Derek? Tire Sports Network, guys, check them out. Great content. They are based out of Dallas, Texas area. That's really good stuff. Hey, they actually have a little poll that they put up on their page. Who is a better shooting guard? Matt, we'll ask you this. I'll ask you the question. The two they put up was Manu Ginobili and Ray Allen. Matt, who do you think was the better shooting guard, Manu Ginobili or Ray Allen? I say Ray.
I gotta agree with you, man. I say Ray Allen too as well, man. Excuse me. Ray Allen he did it, man. He did it as the man. He did it as a complimentary piece. And no knock on Ginobili, man. Ginobili is probably the greatest six man of all time. If you want to, before they give that to
six man was a thing.
Yeah, right. So I mean, man, that's a tough one. But I mean, we've seen Ray do it big in Seattle, man. He did it big in Milwaukee as well.
Great things in Miami too.
Yes, he did, man. And but you can't knock Ginobili, man. That's a good one, but I'm gonna go with Ray Allen on that
one. I said, dude, I literally, Dustin and I were talking back and forth. I said, if it came down to who would I put the ball in their hands to hit the game-winning three, Ray Allen would get it 100 out of 100 times. The dude, there was just something about it. And, I longed when I was a kid. I said, damn, I wish Ray Allen and Sean Kemp were an Atlanta Hawk. If you could, Matt, just picture before we go to our show, picture what Sean Kemp and Ray Allen with Mookie Blaylock, Steve Smith, Dikembe Mutombo, Christian Laettner, dude, could you imagine? Could Atlanta have finally knocked off the Chicago Bulls is the huge question. Do you think they could have?
I don't know, man. I mean, that's you can't underestimate Mike, man. I mean, Mike.
No, I'm not saying underestimate. I'm saying could he actually have, with the help of Sean Kemp and Ray Allen, could the Atlanta Hawks have won?
Look, Brandon, don't ever underestimate Black Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
Here
all
we go.
I'm
Here we
saying,
go.
man. No, man. I'm gonna roll with Mike 10 times out of 10. I don't care if it was Curry and LeBron and all them boys. You have to kind of roll with Mike because he's shown you, that nothing will stand in his way. He will not be stopped. So
Yeah.
hey, man.
I think, all right, I would put it this way. As somebody just fell off the bed upstairs, I would put, if we had Sean Kemp and Ray Allen on the Hawks team, I think Atlanta would have taken the Bulls to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Bulls would have won in 7 instead of the Bulls winning in 4. That's just my thoughts. So look, Derek's just sat here and said, Saturday night I said 34-20, and I was called stupid by everyone on the show. 40-21 is actually the score. Now, 40-22. I wasn't far up actually. So I said 38-17. So yeah, it was actually a pretty good game. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you this, guys. It pleased me more than anything to see the Mahomes lose, not the Chiefs. The Mahomes. I'm so sick and tired of Kansas City being the team, right? I get tired of hearing it left and right. And more importantly, I got sick and tired of seeing stupid Taylor Swift. Look, guys, I have 4 girls of my own. My oldest, who just turned 7, by the way, yesterday. God, I have a 7-year-old now. It's crazy. She's a Taylor Swift fan. Not because she knows her knew right away who Taylor Swift was. It's because my nieces, Katie and Jillian, my brother Brian, and my sister Beth, their daughters quickly introduced Addison to Taylor Swift. Well, I was just so tired of seeing it. And then the audacious claim she did, which we had a discussion about this before, that Travis Kelce is the best tight end ever in NFL history. No, and there is a lot of talks that was the last time he ever steps foot on an NFL field as a player. God, I hope so, because then we won't have to see Taylor Swift anymore. Oh, but anyway, Matt, we saw, as you always called it, was a mollywop. But then you texted me and said, it's no longer a mollywop. It was a what?
It was a slacking.
Yeah. Guys, it was 40-6 at one point. If you guys, I want you all to raise your hand right now, post it in the comment. If you said going into the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl, the Eagles were going to be at 40-6. And if you put your hand up and you say that, I'm going to tell you you're lying, because ain't no way anybody was going to say the Eagles were going to pop 40 on a 2-time defending champion. And record statistic-wise, anybody in the NFC or AFC championship game who put up 40 or more points in that one game, the Super Bowl, they were 3-18, and they the odds of them scoring more than 30 points, it was they had only been done 1 out of the last 12 times. So the Eagles did something special. They're flying high, fly Eagles fly. Look, Matt will tell you we're not Eagles fans, but we are Birds fans, as you see. What is it? Goat? Yes. I don't know, Matt. What do you think? Do you think the GOAT conversation is over with?
How many times did Tom Brady lose in the Super Bowl?
So he went to 10 and lost 3.
Yeah. Look, man, when it's all said and done, barring injury, Patrick Mahomes will have better numbers than Brady. He'll be close to Brady in Super Bowls, if not surpass him. You can't. You got to look at it in its totality, man. The Chiefs got back to the Super Bowl again. Even though they lost, they still got back there. I don't see anybody in the AFC dethroning them again next year either. So he's going to get back there.
The Bills do it. It'll either be the Bills or the Ravens is what I think.
I don't see anybody in the AFC dethroning him again either. But I don't know, man. You can say, what he said, he was never blown out in head-to-head. Brady 130-9. Understood. But I've also watched 2 Super Bowls where Patrick Mahomes was down double figures in the 4th quarter, and then he brought him back to win the game twice.
And Derek, we got to remind you also, that first touchdown that they got, he did it with under a minute and a half, which in game time, which is remarkable. He literally went up, boom, and went down the field.
Yeah, and you can tell. Well, it was a combination of 2 things, man. It was a combination of the Eagles kind of softening up their defense, and then also the Chiefs kind of finding their groove. But you got to give hats off. Hey, man, the MVP of the game was that Philadelphia defensive line. That was the MVP of the game.
And Fangio didn't blitz not one time. And he did it with a 4-man rush, and they ate Patrick Mahomes alive. Oh, man, did they do it.
He was uncomfortable, man, and he was uncomfortable from the jump. I mean, when they first got that pass interference, the call that went for the Patrick Mahomes' way, went the Chiefs' way, I was like, okay, well, the refs are on their side again this game. But that quickly turned, man. That quickly turned. Eagles defense came out, man. They showed heart. Eagles defense is pretty much, man, they handled the game, and they handled Mahomes. Hey, guys, football is a team sport. And offensive line for the Chiefs, they played terribly. They played terribly. I don't blame Mahomes one bit. He was under duress from this jump. They got to the point around mid-second quarter, he stopped trusting the offensive line. And he rolled out that one time he rolled out. They've already got there in his head. And then the one time when he did roll out and had a nice good pass, DeAndre Hopkins dropped it. So, I mean, it was just like, you know what? It's just not their night. Although the aura was there all the way going into at least mid-fourth, that, man, what if Mahomes comes back? And they were even, Tom Brady and I don't know who the guy was. I think it was Kevin something. I think, but even the announcer said, we're not counting him out because it is Patrick Mahomes. Exactly. He can do Patrick Mahomes things. So you have to include Patrick Mahomes in the GOAT debate no matter what. That doesn't matter anymore. People got to understand, man, it's like the Jordan and LeBron debate. Yeah, Jordan won all those rings and things like that, but Jordan didn't have to face the Golden State Warriors here. Jordan didn't have to face players like Wembanyama. Jordan didn't have to face Steph Curry's, Kevin Durant's. He didn't have to face, I still think Jordan played right now, he would score 25 points a game. I'm not going to say that. I think with players not able to touch anybody now, Jordan would definitely eat, but he would have to have a better three-point shot in order to succeed in this league nowadays because the players are bigger, stronger, and way faster than what they were when he was playing. Joe Dumars ain't walking through that door. Joe Dumars ain't coming through that door guarding you, man. You're getting Thomas either. You're getting a 6'11" Kevin Durant coming out there to guard you. You're getting a 6'9", 260 LeBron James coming out there to guard you. Remember, Kevin Durant is the Durantula. Exactly. You're getting a whole different caliber of plays. And then 20 years from now, we're going to be saying the same thing. 20 years from now, we're going to be saying, man, Durant can't hold a candle and LeBron can't hold a candle to this player here. Reginald Sportz. Rondell Washington. Rondell Washington, 7'5" with a handle and a shot like Curry. It's going to be crazy. 7'5" point guard. Exactly. True. In 20 years, it's going to be different. It's evolution, man. It happens. So, you got, whenever I deal with debates, and you can compare Brady and Mahomes because they played against each other and they played in kind of the same era, but man, I think Mahomes will go down as one of the greats, if not the great, when it's all said and done, man. But then again, people did say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers after he won his first Super Bowl. So, oh yeah. Hey, Butch. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news. According to Adam Schefter, after the Super Bowl, DeAndre Hopkins did go to Andy Reid and the staff at Kansas City Chiefs, and he did inform him he is filing his retirement papers. ESPN did announce today that DeAndre Hopkins did confirm he is retiring. So Hops had a fantastic career. He did, man. Starting off, going back to Clemson, one of the best receivers that they've ever had at Clemson, man. He was electric there. One of the best route runners you'll see, some of the greatest hands you'll see. His years in Houston, especially those times wasted with Matt Schaub and all the other quarterbacks that he had. I just wish he'd gotten one ring. He will still go down I think he still is the first ballot. Absolutely. All the way. Absolutely, man. That's the thing about football, man. It's like, Super Bowl is definitely a team. Get a ring is definitely a team sport. So they don't hold that against you, unless you're a quarterback, I guess. But, for the most part, man, he'll definitely be in there, man. Great seasons, 12, 13, 1,400-yard seasons with crappy quarterbacks. When Deshaun Watson came, he took us to another level. What do you think, Derek? Do you agree that DeAndre Hopkins is a first ballot Hall of Fame? You guys let us know in the chat.
Is DeAndre Hopkins a first ballot Hall of Famer?
It depends who's in the class with him, man. It depends who he's up against. But yeah, man.
It's 5 years after on March 1st or March 12th is the start of the 25 season. If he has officially retired, like he said he's doing, it'll be 2030 when he is eligible to be on the Hall of Fame ballot. So we could see in 2030 a hell of a class. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, man. You definitely will see. Definitely will see a great class, man. So, man, it's just one of those things, man, where it just really depends on the voters, man. It's not going to be like. Hopefully, it's not like the MVP voting, man. Which is just crazy in itself. But I don't know if you want to touch on that or not. But man, I don't know, man. Wide receiver, there's so many receivers, man. But Hopkins he has like almost 1,300 yards for his career, man. I mean, I wish he would have had more touchdowns, but I mean, he's had a heck of a career, man.
I wish he'd gotten that ever coveted ring. He deserved it. But DeAndre Hopkins, I think when all is said and done, he will have his number retired at Clemson. I think he will possibly, hell, even get his number retired in Houston. He did fantastic things.
I don't think he'll be first
Houston.
Ballot. I think he'll go in his next go around.
It'll either be year 1 or year 2, but he will be in the Hall of Fame, absolutely.
But he'll definitely be there. He'll definitely get there.
And then also the other breaking news, guys. The Jets have officially informed Ron, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. Matt, is he done? Or now I saw this really ludicrous report. Aaron Rodgers could go play for the Vegas Raiders and teach Shedeur Sanders under his belt for 1 or 2 years, and then Sanders take helm. What do you think?
Well, first, Aaron Rodgers should have left a long time. He should have retired a few years ago, man. But that's neither here nor there. I could see him doing something like going to a team to be a mentor, but I don't think that's not in his nature. He's going to take the job. He's not going to be a mentor type guy. Hell, he didn't even want to mentor the guys he had in Green Bay. So I mean,
he hated Jordan Love. He said that was not my job. Remember his words, by the way.
There you go, man. So man, I mean, it was unfortunate, man. With the roster that they had, they should have been in contention with that roster that they had. But it just didn't go down that way. It didn't go down that way. A lot of people lost their jobs for it. He's one of them. So, hey, man, much luck to him. If he goes to the Raiders, I can see that happening, but I can also see it not happening and nobody picking him up.
That is true. Odds to land for the Jets, possibly to land Cam Ward is pretty significantly high that he may fall into the lap by hope and prayer, right? But this NFL draft, though, with quarterback, it's very weak. You only have 2 big names. That's it.
I don't know,
Cam
man.
Ward and Shedeur Sanders. You only have really 2 big names that would make me say, "Ooh, I'm excited about those quarterbacks." But then again, also, I'm not, and I got to chime in on this too, Derek and everybody who's watching, which we have 17 people watching right now. I want you all to tell me right now, okay, if you saw Dion's post, say, "Happy birthday to my favorite son." I chimed in immediately and I said, "Well, that's not really right. To me, shouldn't every child be your favorite?" And that started a slew of conversations. One idiot tried to sit there and tell me that I was on drugs or whatever, blah, blah, blah nonsense, right? Because it's a running joke. And I said, it doesn't matter, joke or not. You don't tell your children, especially on a social media, "Oh, you're my favorite kid today. You're my favorite kid tomorrow," and yada, yada. Look, here's what I tell my girls. I say, if your name has the letter N in it, and you were born on a day that ends with the letter Y, you're my favorite child. All 4 of my girls have a letter N in their name, and every day of the week ends with a Y, so they're my favorite kids. And I tell them all the time. I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, XYZ, you're my favorite child. Addison, you're this. Eastland, Holden, Aspen." Although now Cassie over there, she's over here shaking her head. She'll sit here and tell you Addison's my favorite. No, just because Addison's my firstborn doesn't mean anything.
Well, look, you gotta get like this, man. You gotta get the relationship that he's had with his sons. I think it's more so like, oh, he's not messing up. He's my favorite today. Oh, he's not messing up. He's my favorite today. It's kind of like they said, it's a running joke type of thing. But at the same time, man, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, that's his motivation tactic. One thing we got to say, or one thing we can't say, is that Deion is a bad father. We can't say that.
No,
so I mean, yeah, we definitely can't say that, man. So, and that's the most important thing, man. You know, do all fathers out there, do right by your kids, man. Do right by your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Love your children.
Don't get flagged.
No matter, don't compare to each other as, oh, Joe Blow did this and little Timmy did this, so why can't you be like little Timmy? No, don't do that.
Now, if I had two sons coming up playing basketball, and let's say they were there neck and neck, whatever, I might on the court, hey, your little brother's gaining on you. Your little brother said he could beat you. Now your little brother's
better. Competition is absolutely fine.
Your little brother got better handles than you. Now, what you gonna do about it? So, hey, man.
What Derek said, I always say our oldest is my favorite 14-year-old daughter. Jesus Christ, Derek, you have a 14-year-old daughter? How old are you, man?
You get it?
Oh, yeah.
His girl is his favorite daughter. His son is his favorite son. And his new baby is his favorite third kid of all time. That's a good way of putting it.
Derek, how old are you, man? Like, I talked to you and Dustin. Y'all don't look like you're that. I'm probably older than you, but damn, you have a 14-year-old? That's crazy. Matt, we just totally aged ourselves. All right, so let's get back on topic. The halftime show.
He's my age.
You're 38 and you have a 14-year-old? Dang, go on, dude. You started early.
That's not even bad. He had his first kid when he was 24. Brandon, people have kids at 23, 22, 21, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15.
Matt.
14.
How many kids you got that you ain't telling us about?
I had my first daughter when I turned 30. She is 9.
Yep.
So
she's the bomb. Yep. So look, all right, we saw the halftime show, guys. First off, I gotta tell you, Matt, I thought it sucked. It was boring. I'm 38 and have a single. Okay,
don't worry, Derek. I'm probably gonna have one or two more kids, man, before I'm done with it. And I'm 39, so I'll probably have one or two more, and I'm good.
This clown said his factory was closed. By the way, y'all.
My factory's not.
He said Ario is his one and done.
My factory.
But Cassie's over here smiling. She said our factory's closed.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Your factory is absolutely closed.
Well, wait, honestly, I told Cassie we should try for one more to have a starting.
Oh my gosh, no, she's not going for it. She's not going for it. You know what's going to happen, Brandon? You're going to have another girl. That's what's going to happen.
Well, actually, Cassie can't. She got her tubes removed, so no.
You guys have 4 kids. You have enough.
So anyway, the halftime show I thought it was terrible. I absolutely thought it was the worst one. It was boring. I didn't see any like exciting and then also I don't know if it was the audio on the production side or what it was. It sounded like literally what it sounded like. It was hard to understand. And there were so many people who said the same thing on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything. They were like, they really couldn't understand half the stuff he was saying. But then starts all the side remarks. First off, the first one that came to mind, Samuel L. Jackson dressed up as Uncle Sam, which, by the way, Donald Trump, folks, was at the game. People said that was a direct stab at Donald Trump and then if you looked at all the dancers, they were dressed in red, white, and blue. They were making it was a political statement, the Democratic Party making fun of the Republican Party. Well, then you heard Kendrick Lamar made stabs at Drake during his songs. Then you saw Serena Williams, who, ladies and gentlemen, dated Drake, was in there dancing. And it was just, there was a lot of side remarks, side everything's to it. I just really thought it was boring. And then, my daughter Addison, she's a music lover. She absolutely loves music. She'll dance to any song, but she loves country. She loves hip hop. She loves R&B. Yes, my daughter absolutely loves singing Keith Sweat. When we have Keith Sweat song, Nobody going on in the car. Yeah, she knows the whole lyrics. Matt, I kid you not, a 7-year-old knows the lyrics to Keith Sweat's Nobody. So, and then Holden's starting to do it too. And when you have a 7-year-old go, Daddy, that was boring. That was the worst I had ever seen. That says a lot. I don't know what's going on with the NFL, but personally, I'd say 4 out of the last 5 halftime shows, they were really just bad. They were boring. They, don't bring the political BS into sports. Look, I understand this is the era now. We're going to see political bullish come into the world, but do it for the entertainment. I miss freaking turning on the halftime show, seeing excellent, exciting, and engaging music that didn't have any political nonsense behind it. Didn't have any, I'm going to make fun of you because XYZ was your ex-girlfriend or whatever's. I didn't want to make my pregnancy announcement 75 feet up in the air like Rihanna did, stuff like that. Look, I have nothing against Rihanna. Rihanna's got great music, but I last night, just know, and everybody, I will tell you 2 nights ago, I'll tell you this. Look, Kendrick Lamar, he's a great performer, but daggone, man, it was just boring. What do you think?
Oh, well, first off, to piggyback on what you said, man, the performance gained a whole lot of criticism. I'm a Kendrick Lamar. Well, I enjoy his music. Well, with that being said, his music isn't really for the live audience, if that makes sense, man. He says a lot of, he uses a lot of tones and a lot of wordplay and a lot of entendres and a lot of things in his music, man, where you really need to sit and listen, but it's tough to do at a stage. I've seen him live a couple of times, man. I just want for the the music itself. So with that being said, man, I don't think he was the right artist for the Super Bowl. Really, the only reason he's even there is because of that diss song he had against Drake that came out some months ago, a long time ago, a few months, when they were doing that little thing, the beef thing. That's really the only reason why he did it. But I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a very talented artist. I enjoy his music. But I think they could have went another direction. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jay-Z has a big hand in picking the Super Bowl shows. That started a few years back, I believe. I can't remember exactly what year, but I know Jay-Z kind of has a hand in picking whoever performs at the Super Bowl. And I could be wrong. If I'm mistaken, but I could have sworn that's what I heard. But I mean, yeah, man, I kind of agree with you in a sense as far as, let's just let it be entertainment. Let it just be entertainment music that we can enjoy. Like, Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Just put it like that. But yeah, man, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't nothing. I mean, whatever. You could zoom into some parts of the crowd and they're like, huh? Then not engaged. Also, you can
there are videos that were people going like this, they were bored.
You look at other parts of the crowds and you see who's engaged or not. You also got to understand the demographic of people who go to the Super Bowl. I mean, those are expensive tickets, man. So you're gonna have a lot of corporations.
Did you see
things like that?
The cheapest ticket this year was like $7,500.
Yeah, man, that's absurd. That's insane. And I would have been mad as hell if I want to spend that on a seat, and that's what I have to see. That game, that blowout game, halftime performance, I would have been mad.
Mm-hmm.
So man, sometimes it's just not worth it. But I mean, I'm not gonna say Kendrick's a bad artist, but I mean, it was just one of those things where I just think it was kind of out of his element. I think they should have went with a more
now artist, right?
But I think the music should have been a little bit more pop. They should have went more towards the pop side this go round, because the last few round times it's been more
hip hop range,
hip hop-ish, R&B-ish, like that, man. I think they should have went more pop with this one, just to show the diversity that they had when it comes to choosing these artists. So man, I mean, but it is what it is. Next year it'll be somebody different, and we'll be talking about it again. But hey, man, it is what it is.
Yeah, and look, Derek just said should have gone. Look, why did they here? I'm gonna ask you that too, Matt. No. Why did they pass on Lil Wayne?
Man, look, dude.
Look, Lil Wayne does have some good tendencies with his music.
I mean, I get it that they were in New Orleans, but that crowd was not New Orleans.
No,
you gotta
understand. New Orleans.
That crowd was not New Orleans. They were in New Orleans, but that crowd was not New Orleans. I just put it like that. So, I don't think, maybe from his rock album, maybe some things, man, but him and Eminem, that song they had a while back. But Nah, I don't think Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, his time is past. I mean, his time is past. It's just
I got one for you, Matt. You ready? How about we just call it Twista?
absolutely not.
Come on.
Come on.
And so like, all right, the song.
Call it Twister to perform what, Brandon?
Exactly. I don't know. All right, so let me do this now. I'm gonna also share this.
Hold on. We would have needed a fireman to throw some water on that fire that the Philadelphia Eagles set on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only fireman we needed, because that was
really. So, all right, there was a commercial that came on. It was Singing Eggs, and they were singing Busta Rhymes' part to Look at Me Now. And Addison goes, "Is there really singers who can sing that fast?" I was like, "Yeah." So I played the song, and she goes, "Wow, that was really fast, Daddy." And I was like, "Yeah." And I told Cassie, I said, it would have been better to have like Busta Rhymes, breaking out the oldies and singing that song kind of things. I remember, the early 2010s when Busta Rhymes and Chris Brown and all of them was able to go like that. And hell, I still remember when Twista sang, and I remember Mystical, right? Did it with 90s. Yeah, I remember that too.
We're in the 90s now. You're bringing up Twista and Mystical. We're in the 90s now, buddy.
I know, I'm bringing them all along. Come on now.
We're not in the 2000s anymore, Brandon. We're in the 90s now.
But I got even one better for you. Why don't we bring the 504 boys back? And
we're definitely in the 90s now. We're definitely in the 90s. Well, Brandon, bring us back to the 2000s, Brandon. Tech Nine. See, a lot of people don't know Tech Nine. Tech Nine is probably the most successful underground artist, hip hop artist that is them in atmosphere. The most successful underground hip hop artist out that have probably ever lived. So a lot of people don't know about Tech Nine out there, man. But no, Tech Nine was not. That's not the Super Bowl's not a place for.
All right, so I just got to quickly remind you guys that 62 is knocking on the door. We already know who's going to represent 60, 61, and 62. Matt and I are wearing their logo right now. Right here. Atlanta will be hosting and playing in their home turf for the Super Bowl and Super Bowl 62 as the world champions will be crowned Atlanta when Atlanta hosts the Super Bowl again. Be ready for that one. So be ready for that. But anyways, guys, hey, and Cassie and I talked about this. New Orleans is not really known for like the flashy. There are touristy areas, but they're not necessarily known for their flashiness. You look at other cities, like for instance, next year the Super Bowl is being held in San Francisco. It's not really San Francisco, it's Santa Clara. There's going to be, I can already tell you this, Matt, just based off of what has happened over the past year with LA, early this year with the LA fires. It's going to be something that's designated because I think 61 is also held in LA. So you have San Francisco and LA hosting 60 and 61. They're going to have something related to the LA wildfires and whatnot. And then the fact that there was a big earthquake that happened this week in Northern California. I think it was actually today. It was like a 5.8 earthquake in Northern California. And my sister Jessica said she felt it. Yeah, I think, but and I know San Francisco, they can turn it up. They bring it hot. I think the next two Super Bowls are going to be elite. Look, what I would do, honestly, Matt?
What's that?
For 61 is I'd hold it at the Rose Bowl. Just because, because Pasadena, because literally the whole LA area and Pasadena area, they had all that issue happen with the wildfires. And of course they had they had that severe drop for gosh knows how long. The Santa Ana winds are just crazy there. Hosted at the Rose Bowl, which is a signature stadium in all of sports. Everybody knows. You could literally be in Japan. You could be in Anchorage, Alaska. You could be in Moscow, Russia, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you mention the Rose Bowl, and they know exactly where it is. Why? Because it's the granddaddy of them all. It's the stadium that everybody has known forever. And from what I understand, part of the Olympics will be played in the Rose Bowl, which I'm excited for. They are doing some modernizing of the Rose Bowl. Look, my bucket list is to go to the Rose Bowl. So, hell, do it. But anyway, if we want to talk about the top city and for the next 4 Super Bowls, honestly, it's going to be Atlanta. Atlanta has where it needs to be. You literally have everything you could ever really want right now in the heart of the city of Atlanta. Atlanta is a megatropolis. It's grown exponentially, and it's still growing regularly. Yes, crime is unfortunately started to go up. However, the way of life has also gotten better there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just saying this because I lived in Atlanta, because Matt lives in Norcross. I'm not just saying that. It's a really hopping area. Mercedes-Benz Stadium has got to be, if not the most beautiful facility in all of professional sports. Matt, have you been to Mercedes-Benz yet?
Many times.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And, hell, I think, honestly, and from what I've seen, a lot of professional arenas are starting to mimic what Arthur Blank did with let's see, and they don't have to worry about home field advantage because you know what, Derek, I'm gonna throw a flag on you. Your flag, 15-year penalty. But I'm telling you, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Arthur Blank did it good with the pricing of the food. Excellent food, and it's real high quality food. It's none of this like bogus stuff you see like. And I'm not knocking on Greenville. Greenville's a beautiful town, but Bon Secours Wellness Arena, you guys have got to get your ish together. You have $150 million sitting there ready to renovate this antiquated arena that, from what I have been told by so many people, that are the same. Even Cassie said they're the same chairs probably when it used to be called the Bilo Center here, right, in Greenville. Now it's called the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Those are the same damn seats, and it's pretty antiquated stadium, but let's mimic something in regards to what Arthur did. Put high quality food at great quality prices, and you'll be amazed at how fast you can sell out arenas just like that.
Yes.
So, do something with that. But Atlanta's going to have a good time with it. Cannot wait. All right, Matt. So let's talk some college basketball. We saw not one, but two teams fall, and yet one of them got to stay at number 1. And, I understand it's Auburn, but they lost by 9 points to Florida. Florida jumped to number 3. Alabama, they jumped to number 2, but number 3 is shared by 2 teams, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right, Matt? It's 2 teams. Yeah, it's Alabama and it's Florida and Duke. They're both number 3 because they're tied. Florida gets the slight advantage because they got 3 first-place votes. Duke got 0 because they lost to Clemson. I don't agree, though, with Auburn staying number 1. What do you think?
I mean, you got to look at strength of schedule, but also you got to look at Auburn. They only have 2 losses on the season. They only have 2 losses on the season, and that's out of all the teams ranked in the top 25. That's the least amount of losses from any team in the top 25. So you got to go with them. You have to go with them because the level of quality teams that they've played, the victories that they've had, and their losses haven't been against sorry teams. Their losses have been, pretty much. I want to say, you're right. They lost against Florida, who's a number 3 team in the country, man. But they also, I'm trying to remember who they also lost against. I know they barely beat Tennessee and they barely beat Georgia. But they lost. I can't remember the team.
Who did they lose to? I'm looking it up right now as we're speaking too.
Okay, you gotta help me out here, man. I think they lost.
Derek, if Derek and everybody else who's watching, if you know who Auburn lost to,
let's see. I know that they beat Florida early in the year, man.
Let's see here. All right, let's go to SEC. Whoops, SEC number 1, Auburn.
It was Kentucky.
Who did they lose to? They lost to Duke.
Was it Duke?
Duke 84-78.
Okay.
So they lost to Duke, and then they lost to Florida 90-81. Those were the 2.
And those
right there.
Those are 2 top 5 teams, man. Those are 2 top 5 teams against.
2 formidable opponents.
Yeah. So, man, I mean, it's basketball. Somebody gets hot, and that changes the whole. Some 8th man off the bench gets hot, that changes the whole schematic of the game. That's how basketball is. So, I don't knock them for that. Like I said, all the time.
I would have put Alabama, though, at number 1. Honestly, I would still keep the number 1 ranking in the state of Alabama, yes. But I would have put it University of Alabama, just simply because the number 1 and number 2 team lost, and the number 3 team, they put a thumping on Arkansas. That's the only reason why I would have said put Alabama at number 1, then put Auburn at number 2. I would have put Duke at number 5, just because. Now, I wouldn't have split it between Florida and Duke as number 3 or 3A and 3B.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have done that. That's just my thoughts on that one. But I do want to tip my cap, though. And yes, Duke and Florida are who they did lose to. I want to tip my cap, though, to Clemson, Matt. Clemson had, everybody for the longest time, Brad Brownell had a different name. Matt, you probably heard it, Brad Brownell, because he always would lose. Or he would not get enough, or he would do just enough every other year or every couple of years to save his career. Last year, he had the Elite 8 run and saved his career. Well, guess what? This year, he has dominated ACC play. He is still a half a game out of first place overall behind the team he just beat, Duke, and then they played a back-to-back, and they thumped North Carolina by 20 points. I'm going to go ahead and sorry, Cassie's arguing with the printer. If you hear her, she's apologizing, but I'm going to tell you this, guys. I saw the way too early bracketologies come out. They have Clemson again as an 8th seed. No, after what they did to Duke, what they did to North Carolina, they own the state of North Carolina. I'm going to give Clemson a 5 seed minimum. What do you think, Matt?
I can see them doing it as like a 5-6 seed if they keep up this pace. If they keep it up and stay in the top 25, But I don't think they're going to stay in the top 25. I just think they see too many. Yeah, they beat Duke once. Don't they play Duke again, if I'm not mistaken?
Not into the ACC championship.
Which means they'll have to play Duke again. Yeah, they beat them once. I just don't see them going through that gauntlet again, because it was a close game, if I'm not mistaken. It was a close game.
So actually, I will tell you this. It started out like Duke was going to wax the floor with them, and then something just someone lit a fire into Clemson's butt, and they got hot at the right time, and they win. But, look, here's the schedule. That's remaining, and there's only one game that I'm circling as a trap game. They play Florida State this week. They play them on Saturday. And I think that's going to be a win. Florida State, they're always like a 14 to 17 win season for whatever reason. Matt, remind me who the Florida State head coach is again. Ron something.
Florida State head coach?
Yeah. I can't remember his name. For whatever reason, he is the most consistent coach to win between 14 and 17 games year in and year out. Fans who are watching in the stream right now, let us know what the head coach's name is at Florida State, because he is very consistent. That's a good game, right?
Leonard Hamilton.
Leonard Hill. Yeah, Leonard. Yeah. All right. So look, then it's the game right after. It's the 22nd. They're playing at SMU. SMU, they're an 18-win team right now. They could be a 21 team going into or battling for a 21 season right there at that game. And Clemson right now, look, they're at 20-5. They could have potential for a 22-win season right there. SMU game is the trap game. I think that's the only one I really worry about. Notre Dame, I'm not overly scared of. Look, Notre Dame is a good team regardless. They've always been.
Yeah.
Hell, even when they suck, they're still good. Then you finish up with Virginia, Boston College. Both teams. Virginia was a Final Four team a few years ago. I mean, a national champion team a few years ago. They're usually in the consistently in the runnings for being in the NCAA tournament, but that it really. And then they finish up with Virginia Tech, which the Sportz Nutz guys were trying to get there. So just stay tuned. We might go to that game. It is at Little John Coliseum. But if I had to look at that, I would say there's maybe 2 games, but definitely one that could be a chat game. The Virginia is a game, but SMU, if Clemson were to go 1, 2, 3, 4, what is it? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they go 6-0 in that schedule, and Duke, I don't think Duke's going to go 6-0 or go undefeated the rest of their way. I think Duke and Duke and North Carolina play each other one more time, right?
Yeah.
Am I correct on that one, Matt?
And I think they always play one at home and one away for each other all the time. So
Let's see. I'm looking here at their schedule. So they play Cal, Stanford, Virginia, Illinois, Miami, Florida State, Wake. They finish up the season at UNC Chapel Hill. I don't know. If Duke loses just one, hell, yeah, literally just lose one, and Clemson goes 6-0 their remaining 6 games, yeah, no. Clemson is going to have the number 1 seed in the ACC tournament, which if you win your conference, you're guaranteed a spot in the NCAA tournament, from what I understand. Yeah. I would be willing to go on a limb that if Clemson goes undefeated the rest of the way in the regular season, that puts them at a minimum 6 seed in the tournament. If they go all the way to the ACC championship and they do have to play Duke again, and say, just for bleeps and giggles, they beat Duke a second time, I put Clemson at a 4 seed. What do you think? I
can agree with that. If they do win those games, they might even be higher than the 4 seed if they do win those games. If they end up winning the ACC tournament, I could see them being a 3rd seed, 3rd or 4th seed if they win that tournament.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good finish. Basketball guys, let's talk real quick. The SEC. We now are really starting to see who is going to be it and who's definitely not going to be it in the SEC. The SEC is log jammed at high quality opponents. Someone suggested that 13 teams in SEC play will get into the NCAA tournament. I don't think it's going to be that many. The teams that I think are a surefire lot, I'm putting the check mark right now: Auburn, Alabama, Florida, A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Missouri. That's it. So that's 7. That's 7 teams that I think they've got their check mark. They're in, and they're in. Vanderbilt's on the cusp of maybe. They have to do a couple more wins. But Matt, did you hear one team I didn't mention in there as a surefire lock?
You didn't mention Kentucky.
That's right. Kentucky is the 15th ranked team in the nation, but they're only 5-5 in conference play. They're barely holding on by the hair on the chin. You have to do a couple more big games. You have to really show me you can win out. Look. They're playing Tennessee right now, the number 5 team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Then they play at Texas. Then you got to play Vanderbilt. Then you got to play at Alabama. Then you got to finish. You got to do the Red River rivalry in basketball, Oklahoma.
True.
Then you finish up your season against number 1 Auburn, then LSU and Missouri. You literally have a gauntlet of a skill. Now, I'm not saying Kentucky can't do it, because they absolutely can. It is Kentucky after all.
Yes.
I mean, they've bred champions for damn near life. But I don't know, Matt. Look, all right, I'm gonna go by. Let's say they. All right, what do you know what the score is right now with Tennessee and Auburn?
No,
and Tennessee and Kentucky. Let me see. Right now, I'm looking. It is 48-41 Kentucky early on in the second half. Okay, let's just say Tennessee wins. All right, bam, you just got knocked out of the top 25. But knowing how the committee is, they're probably going to put them at 25, just because. But then you got to play Texas. Texas ain't a damn walkover. Texas is pretty good for being a 5-5 team. They're a 4-7 but Texas likes to play tough with everybody. All right, Kentucky wins that one. All right, so now you're 1-1. Then you play at Vanderbilt. Okay, look, Vanderbilt, they're again 5-5 team. They have to do a couple more wins to help their RPI and their chances.
Yeah,
I say Vanderbilt wins. All right, 1-2. Then you go to Alabama. I think Alabama, as you like to say, mollywops. All right, 1-3. Oklahoma, they win, so you're 2-3. Comes Auburn. That's a coin toss. Kentucky, if they come out red hot like Red October, they're gonna win. But if Auburn wins, yeah, that's 2-4. At LSU, they win 3-4. Missouri, 4-4. All right, you finished 4-4. Matt, would you put Kentucky in there with a 20-20 or 20-11 record?
Yeah. I don't think any team with double-digit losses is going to get in there like that from the SEC.
Yeah.
I can
exactly. And now, if Kentucky just pulls a rabbit, like I say, pull a rabbit out of their hat, and they go into the SEC tournament and they just bulldoze all the way to the championship. They play Auburn in the championship, and they beat them by 3. Then of course they're going to get in no matter what because they won their conference. But
Absolutely.
no, Kentucky is a bubble team. They could be in the first 4 in kind of thing, But Kentucky to me is a bubble team. So, I can see Kentucky being a have-not. Now the have-nots definitely Georgia. I'm going to go ahead and say Oklahoma as well. Texas, Arkansas. Look, John Calipari, he's going to do good things for Arkansas. But yeah, they're have-nots. LSU, they're having the absolute dismal season as possible. They're 12-11. They're not looking good.
Yeah.
But the team that is the absolute biggest surprise to me, God, is South Carolina. They're 0-10 in conference play. Look, take away their record in conference play. They were 10-3 going into conference play. They haven't won a single game in SEC play. What is going on? Is that Lamont Paris? He did good things to start. He had a fantastic season last year. Damn, he's they got to get their ish together. I mean, you're playing Ole Miss next, then which is the 19th ranked team. Then you got to play Florida, LSU, maybe, but I don't know the way they're going. I wouldn't even. Realistically, I would not put it past them to be a winless SEC play this year, and that's sad. It's gonna be tough. But then, all right, let's quickly reverse roles. Let's look at the women's. Dude, the women's basketball, it's getting hot, and it's getting hot in her. LSU, they fell down a ranking actually. They're still good. They're 25-1. They're the 5th ranked team. But the South Carolina women, they lost to Texas. Texas leapfrogged them. I think that Texas is the right position at number 3. You still got Notre Dame, and of course you got undefeated UCLA. Which, by the way, Matt, did you see the interview that ESPN did with UCLA's center? The girl's 6'9" or something like that.
Oof. Yeah,
she is a beast, and she averages 19.5 points a game, and then she has I think it's 18 rebounds. This girl, she's gonna be the number 2 pick. I can see it being the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft. But reason why I'm mentioning the women's basketball, not only because we love women's sports, which by the way, there is a watcher. I know they are watching. She criticized us and said we don't talk a lot about women's sports. That's not true. We wanted to tell you show you to get the proof of this, right? The proof is in the pudding in all our episodes. But Matt, your girls, Georgia Tech, they're number 19.
Yep.
They've had a tremendous, and I mean absolutely tremendous season. They're 20-4. They're the bracketology for women is they're putting them in as a 9 seed. What do you think? I could see honestly Georgia Tech getting between a 7 and 10 seed. What do you think?
Yeah, they're sitting at 20-4 right now, man. They're doing good so far, man. They're doing good. I hope they can continue this path of success. Like I said, they play Clemson next. I think they play Clemson this Thursday on a couple of days. When they got a tough stretch, it's Clemson, Wake Forest. Then they play the number 10
NC State.
Then they play another ranked team after that, Florida State.
Then Cal, and they finish up at Stanford.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough for them, man. But if they can continue to win, they should be okay. I think they'll definitely get in. I don't see them losing all those games. I think they might.
No,
and even if they split those games, I think they'll still get in the tournament. So
Cara Dunn, look, she's killing it. She's averaging 16 points a game. This girl is a junior, and which, by the way, if you don't know, Georgia puts out some darn good basketball athletes. This girl is from Dallas, Georgia. She's putting up 16 points a game, and she is a guard, and she's doing big things. Tip your cap to her. I hope Cara Dunn, she lights it up the rest of the season, and it would be kind of cool though, actually, Matt, if we see Georgia Tech girls really blow it out of the water. I mean, hell, how cool would it be, honestly, to see Georgia Tech win at least 2 games in the ACC tournament, and then they get in as like a 10 or 11 seed. That I would be absolutely excited to see them going that way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Especially with, like you said, with Karen Dunn. I know she's just leading the way for them, man, and providing good leadership. I think she's a junior this year.
Yeah, she's a junior. She's so by rule in W, which changes next year, by the way. But she, after this year, she can declare for the WNBA. I think she's going to stay back one more year and finish up her time at Georgia Tech. But
what does it change?
It goes to sophomore. So you now in women's sports, it used to be required you to play all the way.
Watkins out of there fast, huh? They trying to get her to the league fast.
So back in the before Caitlin Clark era and all that kind of stuff, it was they had to play they had to play 4 years.
Yep.
You could still be a red shirt, but you had to play 4 years. It was required. Then they made it where you can play 3 years and then you can go. Hell, there are still some redshirt sophomores. Yeah, they played 3+ years. They've gotten the chance. They can go to the WNBA. But I think she's going to stay one more year, and I think if they finish hot this year, they get an 11th seed in the NCAA tournament. Don't count them out. And look, also if they get the 12-5, remember. The 5, 12, 12, 5, whatever you want to call it, those matchups, that is always men's and women that has been the games to watch. It has been left and right, up and down. The 12-5 matchup is it. Obviously, Georgia Tech does have a gauntlet to play. They're going to have to play. They are going to play Notre Dame. Notre Dame is 21-2. They are the number 2 team in the nation. They're undefeated in conference. You still got NC State and Duke. I think Georgia Tech, though, is going to make it interesting, and they're going to fly high. But, hey, I want to mention this one. I'm very excited to mention this, okay? I mean, everybody knows here by now, and if you don't, you're living under a rock. I am a University of Hawaii, right? University of Hawaii is on an 11-game winning streak, Matt. They're 11-2 in conference play. They're 17-6. Why am I mentioning them? Well, they got 7 votes for the top 25. I say, way to go, girls. I'm proud of you. They have clinched the number 1 seed in the Big West tournament, which, by the way, folks, they only have one more year, and they're in the Mountain West Conference. Matt, please do me a favor and tip your cap to the University of Hawaii. Rainbow Wahine. They're doing fantastic. Let's finish strong, girls. You guys, they do have a tough road ahead. They have Long Beach State next, UC Irvine, San Diego, Riverside, UC Davis, Bakersfield, and they finish up at Cal State Northridge. That'll be a win for Hawaii because Cal State Northridge is always a bottom feeder. But Irvine, they're literally a half a game behind Hawaii. If Hawaii can go back and win the regular season and then go into the Big West tournament and win again, Matt, that's 4 straight Big West championships that the Rainbow Wahine have won, which is poised to help get Hawaii into elite status going into their final run ever as a Big West opponent. And then when they go to the Mountain West, it's going to be a lot more entertaining. Get to see them more on TV, which, by the way, got to let you guys know before we go on to our second to last topic. Mountain West, according to our good friend Casey Smith-White, is in the range of $10 to $15 million a year per team, as the new TV deal is possible coming soon. Wow. Their current TV deal does expire in 2026, just in time for the new one to start. It is going to be with CBS Sports Network. Some have mentioned that it could be in the range of almost $20 million a year per school. Remember, the teams that left, every member gets a piece of the exit fee pie. Boise, I think, has to pay the most. Jeez. From what I understand, it's like $180 million being split amongst the members. Now, obviously, the football only members, which will be Northern Illinois and UC Davis, which they're not full members. until 29 for UC Davis. They will only get, I think Northern Illinois gets like 2.5 or no, it's 3.5%. They'll get 3.5% of that buyout fee, the exit fees, which is good for them still. UC Davis gets I think it's like 8.9 or 9.9, something like that percentage, because they're all but football until 29. And then when 29 comes, they become full-time members. But Hawaii, they get a nice little piece of that pie because they will be full-time members in 26. Boise State is currently poised to join the Pac-12 2.0 in 26. So Hawaii's they're gonna get some money. So shout out to the University of Hawaii. We're hoping and cheering you guys on. All right, so real quick, there's a story that I wanted to bring your attention. A couple actually. Matt, quick shout out Trae Young. He has got his just desserts, albeit a replacement. He is still in it. Thoughts? What are your thoughts on Trae Young being officially announced as an NBA All-Star?
Well, the NBA had to deal with the embarrassment of him actually being named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. So, I think that it was, I don't know, man. The players and the fans actually voted him to be on the team. It was the coaches that just didn't pick him to be on the team because, if you think like a coach, well, I already have a point guard. I don't need another point guard. All right, man, but they got to do something to fix the voting because that's just a disgrace. You have somebody who's leading the league in assists and giving you they can give you 25 a night, and those are career averages. So, I mean, it's like, come on, man. At some point, and I'm not just, excuse me, I'm not saying it because, I'm a Hawks guy. I'm not saying it because of that. I don't care if this was Joe Blow across the street, man. If he was averaging 25 and leading the league in assists with almost 11, put him in the All-Star game. They put Steve Nash in the All-Star game for averaging 15 and 11. Put Trae Young in the All-Star game for averaging 25 and 11. So, I mean, I don't get it, man. It's crazy. I think it's more so an Atlanta thing than it is a Trae Young thing.
And it very well could be.
Yeah, but I mean, well deserved, man. Everybody knows he's an all-star. This happened last time. He didn't get voted in. It ended up being a replacement, man, which is absurd because I think he was probably either first or second in the league in assists at that time. And last year, he averaged more points and shot a better shooting percentage. I get it. The shooting percentages are down. I get it. But you tell me one other all-star player that Trae has played with.
Lillard.
Just give me one. Give me one all-star player that Trae has played with. Luka played with Kyrie and Klay Thompson, and Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, give me just one all-star caliber player that Trae Young has played with.
Absolutely. If you name it, yeah. Give Trae his just desserts.
Just give me one.
Give Trae what he deserves.
You can't give me one because there are none. At this point, man, I don't even blame the fans or anybody for this. I blame the Atlanta Hawks organization for not putting Trae Young in a position to be not only the face of their franchise, but to market him the way he should. Your superstar should be marketed.
Yep. I agree. But I will also say get rid of it. And look, I am a huge Atlanta Hawks fan. You know that. I've been a Hawks fan since Spud played. But I'm going to tell you now, Landry Fields, he's got to go. The good old boy system where he pulls. I look, I know what they were doing with the stupid trades they did because they really helped them out for the future. But then again, someone made this joke and I laugh about it. Atlanta, they're set up for the future because they got 75 second-round picks. But, why couldn't you get a first-round pick? You literally got rid of DeAndre Hunter for a guy that averages 8 points a game. And I think, didn't they waive him or something like that?
I get what it was because Karis LeVert is a microwave off the bench. He's like a Jamal Crawford type player off the bench that can come through and fill it up. Every once in a while, he'll go for 30 points.
Nobody's ever going to be Jamal Crawford. No.
First of all, I think Karis LeVert, well, no, of course not Jamal Crawford, but Karis LeVert can fill it up off the bench, man. He can really score off the bench. Like, he's a scorer. It is what it is. He's a scorer. Just like Jamal Crawford was a scorer. His role is to get buckets. So he'll do that off the bench. That's fine. And I really like the Terrence Mann. I already like that acquisition, which we showed why the last game they played. I think the Hawks are on a 2-game winning streak now or something like that. If I'm not mistaken. 3-game winning streak. They'll even back out. But I like the Terrence Mann pickup, man, because he doesn't do one particular thing great, but he can do everything well, and you want that on your foot. You want your bench players to be able to do that. But at the same time, they got nobody to take that load off of Trae Young.
Nope.
So this is
just like our good friend Brandon Link said, the Hawks, they're good at taking one step forward, but they're damn good at taking 10 steps backwards, and that's exactly what they did.
Trey's going to got 2 years left for Trae on the contract. Yeah. I don't think he's going to sign back. I think he's going to go somewhere else. I don't see him signing back here.
Yeah, unless the Hawks, again, my favorite saying, pull a rabbit out of their hat.
It's the offseason.
Land you feel it goes.
Yeah, this offseason coming up, it's going to be – next season is Trae Young's last year on the deal next season because, him and Luka got the same amount of years because they came in the same draft. So if they don't get Trae some help this offseason, he's walking, man. Why
would you want to stay with mediocre? Brandon Link has even said that the Hawks love to be mediocre. Which, by the way, I got to mention this, and then we'll go to the next topic real quick. The Hawks are only half a game out of first place to the 7th seeded Miami Heat. God, dog. Like, what? Makes no damn sense. It should be the conference leaders get the top 4, so on and so forth. But, it is what it is. Hey, guys, go ahead.
They used to do that. They used to give the conference guys top 4. They used to do it. They only did it for like handful of years, and that was it.
Real quick, want to share along the news. Looks like Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez are going to be the owners for the possible owners of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Courts have ruled in favor of both Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez to own the team for 80% majority. Ooh, just depends on if they can do it. If the sale, I think they have like a 90 days to appeal or something like that. The story is up on ESPN.com. If you want to find out more about it, but it looks like Alex Rodriguez could be the owner of an NBA franchise. Wow. Ouch. Oh, all right, guys, real quick. I don't know if you saw this, Matt. Mark Cuban got into a cussing match with many fans. Fans were getting ejected because of this. They had signs saying to fire their GM. Rubio, good Jesus. Yeah, Mark Cuban comes out and says, shut the bleep up and sit the bleep down. Curse his own fans that look, Mark Cuban still, he is a minority owner. But the fact that he was doing that to the fans. Look, I understand there's a lot of turmoil going on with the Dallas Mavericks. You traded away your franchise player for Mr. Injury himself, which, by the way, he's out yet again. Could be out indefinitely. They said that there's a possibility he could be out for the rest of the year. Anthony Davis, I don't understand how the dude can be, he lights it up in college at Kentucky, does great his first few years in the NBA, and then all of a sudden it's like everything hurts him. The dude's standing there and he got an abductor injury. I don't know if it's just he's tired of playing. I mean, it's a real possibility. Maybe he is tired. We don't know. Derek, I know you and Dustin are good fans of the Dallas Mavericks. What do you think? Do you think just Anthony Davis just needs to hang it up? You let us know. We want to hear your thoughts on that one. Obviously, turmoil is going on, but hopefully they realize you don't do that to your fans because that's the best way to lose your fans.
Oh, they lost.
It's the best way. The quickest way to lose your fans is to kill the trust, and the hardest to bring back is to earn trust back. Just like we tell with our kids, it's easier to kill than bring back.
Well, you look at the example of when the Golden State Warriors traded away Monte Ellis for Andrew Bogut. This is back when it was Steph Curry's rookie year, his second year.
It was a sophomore year.
Curry was going through all the hurt ankle injuries and stuff. So the crowd, and I think Lake Up was the owner at the time or whatever. But I remember he came out there to talk, and they booed him. But then at the same time, Dallas doesn't have Steph Curry sitting there on the bench.
No, they don't. We got nobody now.
I don't think I wasn't on last episode, so I didn't really talk about this. And we didn't talk about this time before, but I think that was a real blunder by the Mavericks organization. I'm sorry, man. Luka is generational type player. I seen him come to Atlanta and drop 73 points on our head, running as slow as could be, dribbling as slow as you could possibly dribble.
And now he's sitting right next door to LeBron James himself.
And he will get his body right. He will be right. You know, LeBron will get him right. But I just think that was an all-time blunder by the Mavericks organization. I get it; they want to start over, but you could have got a bigger haul.
You could have gotten draft capital galore.
Yeah, I get it. They didn't want to pay him that crazy super max at $300 million. Okay. You don't want to pay that. Just say that. You know, just say you don't want to pay that. You want to stay under it. But I don't get it. Your team went to the finals last year. I don't understand.
What were you thinking? Yeah, that's like let's see. That's like, all right. Let's try to put it in perspective here. Let's do baseball standards. Barry Bonds, say he's in his prime. He's jacking up 70 home runs a year, right? The Giants go and they trade him for your ever favorite player, Jose Canseco, who is literally in his last year of his deal, plays 5 games, and is done for the year. That's literally what it's like. You traded away a 70 home run hitter for a 5-game player. All right, let's look at it at NFL standards. That's like trading prime Julio Jones and prime Jerry Rice for Ken Burkhardt, a career backup quarterback, or Blake Bortles. That's exactly what it was like. All right, so then let's put it at NHL standards. Last one. Alex Ovechkin getting traded for the San Jose Sharks mascot. That's literally what it's like. You're giving away the piece of pie for nothing.
I said not to say the mascot.
That's literally what, and you're literally giving away for everything for nothing. So, Dallas, I don't know we see what's the possibilities, but you know what though? Here's the saying in the South: you can talk until the cows come home, but until they come home, it's just talk. That's damn straight thing right there. You don't know what's going on with that part right there. And honestly, I think it was stupid. By the way, Matt, I want to let you know Kentucky is actually down to Tennessee by 1 going in the late portions of the second. So, hey, told you Kentucky is very inconsistent. So, hey, all right, I want to show you this story, guys. Is that a high school? Matt, if you can read this, I hope you can. It is a high school player, guys. She's finishing up her high school career. She has to score. If you do the math, she only has to score 12 points. She becomes the 4th female player in that history. And I looked it up, actually. National. She will be the 7th male or female player to ever have a high school scoring career of 3,000 plus points. Shout out. I'm going to shout her out and I don't know if this is like a fluke or what, but shout out to her for getting the 3,000 point mark.
What grade is she?
Congratulations. I think she's a senior.
She looks like she's in middle school. Jesus.
Yeah, she's young. But look, when you and I played, you could tell we were freaking seniors and juniors and sophomores. Hell, now you look at kids today, you can't even tell if they're in 8th grade or 10th grade or a senior because they're you just said earlier, evolution. Kids evolve and they look different. They look a lot younger. So we'll see on that one. But shout out to her. Congratulations. Give a quick shout out to them. Real quick, Clemson softball. Their game tonight was postponed against Furman due to weather. Look, weather is absolutely going to be a freak this week in the Southeast. By the way, weather in the entire Eastern Coast, all the way from Maine down to Florida. Some crazy issues going on. Washington, D.C. is getting like 15 inches of snow. We're supposed to get, like, here in the upstate of South Carolina, 5 to 7 inches of rain. Great drought buster, by the way, but yeah, it's just crazy. So yeah, it's interesting. But it is sports. It is what it is. But hey, we had a great show. Real quick, also, by the way, it's Toronto Raptors, Brandon Ingram, 3 years, $120 million extension. Dadgummit, Matt. Like I told you, I really went, and from what the talks were, this is how close Atlanta came to getting Brandon Ingram. It came down to, will the Hawks take on the full remaining balance of Brandon Ingram's contract? The Hawks said they would take on 49%.
What?
The New Orleans Pelicans asked for 51%. That is how close it came to Brandon Ingram being an Atlanta Hawk. Again, Hawks, what the F are we doing, folks? Let's wake it up and get it going and get the damn
Get
going.
Trey some help. Get Trey some help, please. Please, for the love of God, get him some help.
In this nonsense right now,
Get him
help
some
him out.
help. Some real help.
Yep. Hell, who knows? And then shout out to DeJounte Murray. He had his Achilles surgery repaired. As we mentioned on the show recently, in basketball standards for players who tear their Achilles, you're basically never the same again.
And let me clarify something, Brandon, real quick. DeJounte Murray was a really good player. He was a really good player. Obviously, the best player that Trey has played with. It's just unfortunate that he plays the same position as Trey Young.
Yep, that's right. It is unfortunate, but hey, DeJounte Murray, we wish you a speedy recovery. You're going to have a long road. And people in sports, if you tear your Achilles, you do have a higher likelihood of re-injuring that Achilles. As we just saw, Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles again, pretty much ending his career in sports. It's the back-to-back tears. It's virtually impossible to come back from. There's only been one player that's done it.
He could be a good backup somewhere.
Who knows? There's only been one player that's come back and finished out their career on a semi-positive note. But yeah, Deshaun Watson, both who tore his Achilles again. DeJounte Murray, wish you the best. Get better. Obviously, it's going to be a lot to go from you. It's going to be a lot of recovery. All right, guys. Here's how our lineup goes. Friday, we will have an episode. I will be joining late. It will start by this man right here. Matt will be starting the show. My daughter's birthday, as you guys heard me start the show, was yesterday. She turned 7 years old. Grammy, and yes, Grandude. My stepdad is Grandude. My mother is Grammy. They're coming into town. Addison's having her birthday party this Saturday. So the festivities do officially start Friday evening. We are taking our girl out. Yes, it's Valentine's Day, so I get to have Valentine's Day with my 5 beautiful girls, my wife and my four loves as well. That's 5. But we will be having dinner at Lost Cajun, Addison's favorite restaurant in downtown Greenville. And then I will be joining afterwards. It will be a little late, but we'll be joining. We have a lot of fun things to talk about. Matt and I will discuss the world, basically, what we're going to talk. We have a lot to go on to share on. Hank will be back with us. Hank, unfortunately, was not able to join us tonight because he had to work. Hey, we get it. Work is work. Work happens. Matt will tell you he works, and then when it happens, it happens. So we were going to try and do ringside with the Sportz Nutz this Thursday. Unfortunately, Hank is not going to be able to do it, but we will try next week for another episode of ringside with the Sportz Nutz. It's going to be a good episode. Friday, it will start. It will be 7:30 p.m. Matt will host it. Matt, Shane, and Hank will start. I will join, and we will get it going that way. Tuesday, there will not be an episode next Tuesday. Why? Because my daughter and I, we have our first playoff game. We are the number 2 seed, taking on the number 3 seed. Matt, here's the crazy thing. The game's at 8 o'clock at night, which is weird. So, unfortunately, Cassie and the girls probably won't make it to the game to cheer on Addison. I don't know yet, but that's why the game is starting at 7. Starts at 8 o'clock. It's all the way in Wren, which is a pretty little bit of a distance for us, so we won't be there on Tuesday, but Friday we'll be back. We will have the South Carolina Ravens. Jordan, look, the season's about to get going. They have new players that they're gonna bring on. A whole lot of fun with them. Andre's already told me we're gonna get it going. We're gonna be doing a ticket giveaway for, I believe it's 4 floor seats, floor side seat for the South Carolina Ravens game. Andre will have the details about it and everything. Go make sure to visit them, scravensfb.com. Get your tickets today. Really quick, give a shout out to our sponsor, Tequila's Grill and Easily. Look, guys, they literally are the most affordable, most delicious, most authentic Mexican cuisine around. Give them a call today at 864-307-8028. Better yet, stop on by 5455 Calhoun Memorial Highway in Easley, South Carolina, 29640. As Tequila's Grill and Easley, great food all around. Matt, what do you say to these lovely people?
Yes, man. Guys, get out there. This weekend, we got the weekend of love. It's Valentine's Day. So, you're going to be out on Friday nights. We're all going to be out on Friday nights. So let's just, make sure we, be smart. Don't drink and drive. Show your lady a good time. Take her out, show her a good time. But easy on the drinks there, buddy. Easy on the drinks there. You don't want to just be driving. Driving back to the house or wherever you live, and get the whoop whoop behind you. Because they're gonna be out there. They're gonna be out there. So just for you guys, just be smart. Wait till you get home, then drink. Do that.
Yep.
Do that because you don't want to get flagged.
No, don't get flagged. Don't do something stupid. Look, I understand it's a great time to be with your loved ones. Treat your significant other as they are, as the love of your life as they are, and you want to continue to be the love of your life. So get home safely. Don't drink and drive. If you drink, call an Uber, ride shares, or they're going to be plenty galore. Check into them. So for our good friend Shane Owen, as he always will tell you, peace, love, and bacon grease indeed. For our good friend Hank, who says he loves you guys, he appreciates every minute he gets to be a part of you. I'm Brandon, as I always say, peace up, A-Town down Y. It's the greatest sports city there ever was. Hey, rise up. And by the way, guys, spring training, knocking on that door. Go Braves. We will see you guys again on Friday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Matt, Shane, Hank will get it going, and then I will be joining you guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Until then, enjoy the outro. Good night.